NBA team building is changing right in front of our eyes. We are seeing less and less supermax contracts being given out to non-top 10 players and more hesitancy to pay top players. We are also currently in one of the craziest offseasons of all time with all this player movement. It seems like we are entering a completely different era of the NBA. So in today's video, I wanted to go over the new team building philosophy that has swept the league and will continue to grow and get more traction over time. That is the philosophy of flexibility and optionality when it comes to their rosters. But before we get into it, make sure to leave a like and subscribe. This all started with the new CBA that had new rules with the second apron, making it significantly harder for teams to maintain cores they drafted. This took effect on July 1st, 2023, and just 3 years in, we are seeing massive ramifications of it right now. Instead of just paying the luxury tax in years past just to form crazy super teams hoping to make the finals, the punishments for going over the threshold has become a lot harsher. If a team stays over the second apron for multiple years, they run the risk of losing their draft picks, and it's hard to make trades. Therefore, their flexibility and optionality in the future is screwed. So I wanted to look at some teams who have already won and have been affected by the CBA and what we can learn from their first reactions. The Celtics are the biggest example of how the CBA changed their team. After winning the 2024 chip, they were taken over by new ownership, and soon the Celtics gutted most of their 2024 roster, with Tatum, Pritchard, and Hauser being the only significant players left. After the 2025 season, they dumped Kristaps to the Hawks and Holiday to the Blazers. Then in the next, they traded Boston legend Jaylen Brown to the Sixers. But why? It was all to save money and give the Celtics flexibility in the future. Now with Paul George on the roster, they can get rid of him as his contract expires in 2 years, and gives them the flexibility to play players like Pritchard, Gonzalez, and others. The Celtics identified their Tier 1 superstar in Tatum and decided to build a team around him with more flexibility. Do I necessarily agree with it? Not really, but the Celtics are trying to get ahead of the curve on the second apron. They were able to build a team around Brown capable of being a top-tier contender in the East and now being replaced with Tatum and internal development. It is not too far-fetched for the Celtics to think they can repeat the same success or even outperform last year. Looking back at this Jaylen Brown trade a couple of years from now will be very interesting. Not only is it the marker of an ended era in Boston, but potentially a new one in the NBA, where we see superstar duos get split up more, often due to contract problems. Will the Celtics continue their success without Jaylen Brown, or will the Sixers win this one in the end, and how will the rest of the league react? I guess time will only tell. Let's look at another recent champion in the Denver Nuggets, who are in a bit of a dilemma right now. After being bounced out the first round by the Wolves, it would only be natural for them to make changes to their roster. However, they are stuck. Maybe they would want to trade Murray for a completely new look next to Jokic due to his poor performance in the playoffs. However, due to his large contract, no team really wants him and would only make sense to trade him with another player on his level. Ironically, a trade that was popularly speculated was a Jaylen Brown-Murray swap. Now that it's off the table, the Nuggets seem to stick with him. How about resigning their young dynamic forward and Peyton Watson? But Watson, after looking at what his team paid Braun, and demanded more money as well. Despite being a restricted free agent, he may look to go to another team that'll pay him more. Again, to the moves and signings made before the new CBA, the Nuggets are in a bind, and now franchise legend Jokic is waiting it out to sign his contract extension until next offseason. This will cost the Nuggets quite a lot, as he will demand more money and look elsewhere to see if the situation in Denver gets worse. Lastly, let's look at the Thunder throwing away assets. Aaron Wiggins and Isaiah Joe, who were valuable role players just a season ago, got traded for a handful of second-round picks to the Pistons and Hawks respectively because the Thunder literally can't pay them. The Thunder are now facing the reality of trying to keep one of the deepest teams of all time together as they are making cuts. The Thunder paid J-Dub and Chet early as our contracts looked crazy at the time, but they will continue to age well. They have a stockpile of draft picks to replace role players and have been ahead of the curve, giving out team-friendly deals to AJ Mitchell and trading for McCain on his rookie extension to replace Wiggins and Joe. But when will they eventually have to lose core pieces? This offseason or the next? Despite the Thunder being the most ready and equipped to fight this new CBA, how long will they have to face reality? Sam Presti is by far the best GM in the league, but has he met his match of the new CBA? As the big three contracts kick in, it will only get harder and harder to keep the core together. Now it is no coincidence that the two teams in the finals recently had their star players take a pay cut. Wemby just signed his mega extension after his rookie contract, but took a pay cut to allow the Spurs to be more flexible. A 5-year, $252 million extension, leaving $50 million on the table. Brunson famously took a $100 million pay cut to keep the Knicks together in hopes they would win a chip, and he got rewarded with one. Even with that, the Knicks lost their starting center to the Celtics because they couldn't pay him. Contrast to the Cavs, who got swept in the Eastern Conference Finals, just gave Spida a massive 4-year, $273 million contract extension. It is clear, superstars being willing to sacrifice millions of dollars to win helps the team in the long run. the Knicks can keep their core together for a bit more, and the Spurs can continue to grow with Wemby, Castle, and Harper before all three get paid an obscene amount of money. Only time will tell who comes out on top, but I put my money on the Spurs and Knicks having a better outlook on flexibility in the future. Now, when breaking this down, we must realize that rookie contracts and role players are so available right now. Similar to the NFL team building window, when an elite quarterback is on the rookie deal, that team has the most valuable asset in the league. Now that team can spend a lot of money on other positions to boost their team. For example, look at the Patriots the offseason before they made the Super Bowl. They spent so much money. May was the runner-up of MVP, and they went to the Super Bowl. You're going to start seeing something very similar in the NBA. If Coop has an All-NBA season next year, the Mavs will try their best to create a contender before he eats up a large portion of the salary cap. AJ, Boozer, TP, etc. are all incredibly valuable to the teams, as if they are elite out the gate, their teams must have the flexibility to build contenders around them before it gets harder. Role players on elite contracts are invaluable as well. Look at Peyton Pritchard on his deal, AJ Mitchell, and even Denny Advia. Sniping good role players on cheap deals has always been valuable, but has been amplified in the new CBA. Lastly, even players like Baylor Sharman and Hugo Gonzalez, who are held up to not complete the Giannis trade, start to make a little bit more sense when you realize they are good role players with potential to grow on very small rookie deals. The entire math of the NBA has changed. The NBA team philosophy and math has changed drastically. No longer are the days of pairing multiple all-star players together and just paying the luxury tax to keep them together. Now teams and GMs have to be more strategic when it comes to salaries, draft picks, and player contracts. This so that in addition to changes with the lottery system, we will see even more parity in a league that already has so many great teams. The league has evolved to look something similar to the NFL team building wise, and it seems like this is just the beginning. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe.